Physics Control in Unreal Engine is a plugin that is designed to enable simulation of character movements. It ensures that your character's body follows animation while seamlessly responding to the surrounding environment, resulting in fluid motion and natural reactions. For example, when we look at a character's skeleton and focus on one arm, we can see that that character has bones that moves the arm around. Without the bones, the arm will just not function. And the arm as a functional limb is connected to the whole body by a bone named clavicle in Unreal Engine. These can be differentiated as R for right and L for left. Additionally, let's say that your character have a ponytail. You can designate it as a limb in the physics control data and assign different value to influence its behavior as you desire. As the physics control simulates the arm movement or any limb in your body, the character can interact with its environment, creating some of the amazing effects. For instance, even without a specific animation for placing hands on objects and surfaces, you can still do so with physics, which I will demonstrate shortly in this video. Now, let's imagine a bullet comes and hits our character's arm. We can apply an impulse to the arm based on the bullet's impact location, resulting in a hit reaction that I will also demonstrate soon. So, let's dive into the tutorial and make our character move using physics. Alright guys, now we are inside the Unreal and we are going to make a physics controlling component that we can utilize in any other project that you want to have. So first of all, go inside Edit and inside Plugins. And now we are going to enable Physics Control. It's experimental, but it works. After the editor has been restarted once, you can close the plugins. We don't need any other plugins for this project. Then what we are going to do, inside content, create new folder called physics. As I see, it's physics control system. You can remove system or keep it. In here we are going to create a new blueprint class, and in here we are going to select actor component and name this physics component. Open this up, and in the begin play we are going to first, before we start, we are going to select a few more things. So first of all, go inside your blueprint menu, and in here we are going to select enumeration, and this is going to call physics type. Then double click on the enumeration, add an enumeration called none, then add one more for simple cube. Then we are going to add another one for characters. Now in the variables we are going to add the enumeration, so we can say physics type. In this drop down we are going to type physics type, select that and compile. When you compile, you can see that here we have a menu where we can select none, simple cube or character. By default, keep it as none and then bring it. And from here we are going to get switch own physics type. Select that and plug that in to the begin play. From the none, we are going to get actor of class. Here select the actor of class, and in here search for physics control actor. Then we are going to get a control component from this control actor, and then promote this to a variable. So promote this to a variable calling physics control. And now that it's been set, but even before this, before we do the selection, with this node. So after you have done all of these things, go over to physics type and enable this I button, which will make this instance editable. Okay, and we are going to get the physics control, and from this we are going to create control. This option, and we are going to attach this to the simple cube. After this, we are going to get the child component and make this a variable. So just right click and say promote to variable, and it will just create a child component for that variable. In here, in the physics control data, we want the linear strength to be 1 and linear damping ratio to be 1 as well. Angular strength also 1 and angular damping ratio to be 1 as well. After that, make sure that this is enabled and using skeleton mesh animation, and also check only control child object. Then close this. After doing that, get your child component, and we are going to get actor location. How can we get it? Get world location. Also, we want get world rotation, and add the rotation into the target orientation, and add the world location to target position. After you have done this, you don't need anything in here to change. Okay, just compile, save, and close. Now this system already contains a function which we can utilize to something that is static matter and is in the world, and it is a physical object that is affected by a mass. And now we can control that physics object from this system. So all you need to do is have that actor. So we are going to create a new blueprint and select actor, and we are going to call this cube physics facts, and in here we are going to add a cube right here. So now we have our cube, but we don't have our physical component, so add that as well. Search for physics and you will see in customs, so make sure that you don't go inside any other criteria. Make sure that it is in customs, and choose your physics component. After this, make sure that in default you choose it to be simple cube. Now one thing that you need to do is grab this physics component, and then we are going to set the child component. So set child component, and grab the cube and put it here. And few more things that we need to change is, first, this need to simulate physics, have a mass, and you can have gravity, but for this we don't really need it. Now grab the cube, put it in a void. Now if it works, it doesn't work. So here it is saying that accessed value, read property, physics control, event graph is not working. Okay. So to fix this problem, we actually need to go back to the system, and we need to create a few things. So first of all, completely delete this, grab this, and put this back here. So the problem actually was that for us to use this control function from that actor needs to be in the world. And much better way to do this is to just go inside your physics component wherever you set these things, and from the physics component grab and say set physics, not the component, set physics control. And what we need to set here is the basic control that comes with the plugin. So if you have connected the plugin, you will see that in physics we can see physics control. Select that and put it in the physics control. So it should work now. Also, if you do want to change these values of data and position to the world actor and everything, then you can make them a variable, and you can adjust them inside each actor. So let me show you how you can do that. I'm going to show this for just physical data. So right click on control data and just promote to variable. When you do that and compile, and you go back and select your physics component, in the defaults, if you haven't set any category to it, it's default, so you will see it under default, the control data. And now you can select and change them. The default will be the one that we get when we said make. So now we're going to change them back to 1. 1 for the linear strength and 1 for the angular strength. Also, remember to check only control child object. Now compile, save, and it should work. Right now it's too much strength. So if we do go back and change the strength to be, let's say, 0.2, it will work much better. You can see it much better. So we move it, it goes back. Now you can play with these things, all of them, and let's try to play with them. So this we will put 3, this we will put 0.1, and let's put this one also be 3, and this will also be 0.1. Let's see how much difference does that make. So it is not moving at all. Let's say that you have if we go into simulation, you have this thing in the world, okay, and you move it to a certain place. Okay, is it set to movable or something? If yours as well is not working for this, just go grab your cube and put as default cube, and now it should work. Yeah, if you have your object, like for now we are setting it location to be here and rotation to be this rotation, but you can set this location and rotation to be, let's say, for this cube, and now you can put this cube anywhere else and it will just launch back to that place and it will look like this. So you can make gameplay elements and a lot of things with this. So I tried to keep that in the physics component, but we don't really need control data right now, so we're going to delete this, also delete this, drag this out and make it, because we are going to have a lot of nodes just for our character, so it needs to be much better organizing for now. After doing this, making sure it's connected, now we can just move all of these things that we just did and move them to a function. So right click, select everything that you want to move to a function, right click and say collapse to a function, and here we can say simple cube physics AWPLICH. Now we are going to do somewhat of the same thing for our character. First of all, before we do any of the character stuff, make sure that you go inside your third-person character and make a new character up. You can make a child, or you can keep it as the third person, but we are going to create a blueprint child. We did create a child, right? Okay, yeah, we did. But it doesn't have any begin player or anything. Okay. Now go inside your third person character, inside instruction script, and let's get started. So back in our physics component, select your physics control, and from here we are going to get physics. Create controls and body modifier for limb bones, and connect the characters node to this. From here we are going to promote all of these things to variables because we want to change them in our third person character. So promote this to a variable, promote this to a variable, promote this to a variable, this, also this, and we don't need to worry about world 1 name. After you have all of them, we are going to give them some default value, so you don't really have to change everything each time. First of all, go to your select mesh component, and in the categories, name it characters, or just character. Let's go inside each one and select them. Compile, save. And now if you go inside your limb setup data, here we are going to give them the bone name that are limbs of our character or our skeleton. By doing this, we can make different controls for different limbs in our body, and we can set like which limb should simulate and which limb should follow the animation, or which limb just stay. So after you have done those things, select all of them. You can select them from here, and in the characters, you can see over here, in the characters, make everyone editable. So after you have done all of these things and you have selected all of them, now we are going to set these default values. To do that, go inside your third person character, inside mesh, and double click on your skeleton mesh asset. In here you can see the skeleton tree. To see it much better, you can go inside your skeleton component right beside it, and you will see something like this. We only need this chart, so let's grab it over here. Move it over here. Now what we need to do is add like this hand of ours, like if we can see. So this hand, we want this to be one limb. Okay, so what we need to do is select, let's say, clavicle R. So this bone is the last, you can say, bone that connects the hand to the whole body. So this bone need to be the base, which we are going to, if we click add in the index, the start bone is going to be the base bone. So for the hand, it's going to be clavicle R for the right hand. For the left hand, it's going to be clavicle L. And for the head, if you go down, for the head, it's neck 1. Okay. So these are the bones that we need to make sure that the system knows that this is a limb, and we want to make it act as a limb. Then for the legs, this one is thigh L. So this one will be the start bone for leg, left leg, and thigh right or R will be the start bone for the right leg. Now make sure that when you start and look into this skeleton mesh, bones and everything, you're going to see that there are 5 spine bones, and we actually need to select either second or third. Third is optimal, okay, it works everywhere, but you can go with second. I would recommend going with second or third. Don't go with first, or don't go with pelvis, because they are going to mess up with the whole body. Now save everything, and I'm just going to input everything here. So here I'm using spine 2 as the spine, and thigh R as the right leg, then thigh left L as the left leg, then clavicle L as the left arm, then clavicle R as the right arm, and then neck 1 as the head. So once you set all of these things and you give it a proper skeleton mesh for it, it should work. And in most of the skeleton mesh that you are going to get from the Epic store or Epic themselves, they are going to have all of these bones in them. So it's kind of a better way if you just make them the default value, so you don't need to change them for each character. You can change them if you have different characters completely, but it's just a default value, and it's better to have some value in there so you don't have to change for same skeleton each time. Now same thing with the world space control data, and in this values we are going to put 3 in linear strength and 3 in the angular strength. Now make sure that you enable it while you're doing testing, and you disable it when you have done all of the testing purposes and all of things. Also check only control child object. Go into parent space, check this enabled off, make sure that the parent space is not enabled, and in angular strength we are going to put 10 if we are ever going to use it in future. Then in body modifier data we are going to set this as simulated and gravity multiplier to be 0. Then one of the things is that if you just select everything and give your character this function, this physics asset, it will just work. So if you go into physics character component, go inside mesh, grab that, then add physics. To make sure that you add both of them, the component and control. And after you have both of them, grab the control, and here set physics control. The next thing we want to set is the skeletal mesh, and add your mesh to the skeletal mesh, and add physics control. Physics control. If you think that the naming of these things are a bit confusing, then you can just go inside physical component and change this physics control to something else. After that, you're going to go inside the physics component, and here in the default, make sure that physics type is character. And then we are going to close the default, and here we have to change certain things. So the things that we set it for as the default are the things that we need for our character right now. So we don't actually need to change them. But let's say that you put this physics component to a different character. Maybe it's a dog, or maybe it's a snake or something else. That you go inside limb setup data, maybe it doesn't have, let's say, a right leg, it just have one leg, or maybe it doesn't have a left arm, it just have one arm. So you can select any of the limb, go to this arrow and just delete it. And to maybe your character have more than what we have right here, then just go over to the add element, go over to the 6th element, and just add that limb and the start bone. We don't need that, so we are going to delete it, and everything is the same. Now you can change these values, play with them till you find your best one. We are going to save this and check if it's good. So this is our character, and he's completely not using anything. Oh, I think I know what's the problem. These days, only presets. So one more thing that you need to make sure when you're making your character stuff. First thing, that your mesh should not collide with your capsule component. So go inside this, make it a custom, and make this a physics party. And go inside capsule component, and go inside custom, and make sure that it doesn't collide with the physics party. So when you do that, then you can get it, and you say don't collide with pawn because capsule component is pawn. Then it should work. It should not collide with component at least. Make the capsule area a bit less. Okay, so it is going through everything. For static is true. Oh, it's on quality. Go to third person map. Select everything, every cube in here. Okay. Block. We're going to select all of these. And just say in collision. Collision preset default custom. We don't want camera. No, camera can go through it. Okay. Or at least we can see what's happening. So as you can see, the hand is reacting to the world, and if we go to simulation, you can see the leg is also reacting. It's kind of in the air, trying to balance the whole body, and the hand is reacting to the edge of the cube or platform. So how do you make okay, one more thing. If you are doing it in some characters, and let's say that your foot is not working, okay, maybe it's dragging down. To create that problem, we just need to make it cut down a bit. Oh, this character is really good. This is what we just create out of physics. We don't have animation to this. If you really do want to use this, you can. That's a cool way. I want to use this now. I don't know why. I want to use this in my game. The weird walk. The walk like this. Okay. So if you are using this, let's say in the game sample animation character, right, or some other characters, and the leg are being dragged back by the friction in the world, then to fix that, we can just go after this create control, grab from the physics control, and we are going to say set mode body modifier, movement type. Okay, and we are going to create a for each loop. Then attach the array element to the name, and here make an array. This will have two things. First, put left, and another one will be put right. After you do this, make sure that the movement type is kinematics, and that should be it. Now what is going to happen is that your feet now will not be simulated. Okay, so your feet are kinematics. They are using the animation to know where they should be in the world, and your whole body except your feet, your pelvis, your spine one, and your root, everything else is simulated. They can react with the world, you can collide with things, you can make sure that these bendings are different by the values here. This world space control data, you can check these values, change them as you want, and it should change, and make sure that you get the best value out of them. Now how much easily can you set these values to a different character, or maybe you have AI systems and all of them are completely different from each of them, and you just want to use them. First of all, you can just go to content, grab this control system, and you can just where is the asset? Migrate this. When you say you might want to migrate this does not have any influence over anything else. It's just a compact system, and it doesn't have any dependency over to the other systems. So you can migrate this to any project, and as soon as you migrate them, let's say we make a new, let's duplicate this. In here we don't have any of these things, because reference script we don't have these. Let's just imagine we don't have them. Okay, now let's just imagine that you migrated them, and this is your other project, and you migrated the physics control system to this project. What you're going to do is go to your character or AI or any skeleton, any static object, any actor that you have in your work. Go there, add a few things. Make sure that you go inside edit and enable the physics control plugin. Then go inside add and add physics control. And right after that, add physics component. And when you add both of them, you can just get these values, get the physics component, and then add them to your project. So if it says skeleton mesh component, you add skeleton mesh, or if it's a static mesh component, you can add simple cube, and then add physics control here, and it will work. So as you remember, this, let's delete camera boom, full camera, arrow, and in the event graph just remove everything. So now this is a completely like we cannot move this character in the world. So if we put him in the world, and one thing that we cannot collide with them. Maybe one more thing we can do. Instead of going inside begin play, we can make them a separate one. This will be a custom event saying initialize physics. When we run the initialize physics, it should work. I think what's happening is it's not taking everything. Let's go to begin play of this character. Event begin play and say get the physics component and say initialize physics. Oh, I forgot the biggest thing. If you go inside default, it's none. So make sure that you select character here. And if you, let's say you want to use this project mainly for characters, I will recommend that you go inside your physics component and make sure that this physics type default value is character. This to make sure that you never forget to, plug this and save this. It should work now. As you can see, works. You can make him pull back or front. He's trying to hug us. Or we are trying to hug him. I don't know. It's a... Oh, okay. I built something first now. So... what probably is happening is because of gravity. If you move it back to 0, it should just act as normal. Okay. That worked. Now we are going to work on the hit actor. Okay. For now, we don't have any bullet function, so bullet goes and hits a bone and it reacts to it. So we don't really have that function for now. What we are going to do is in here, whenever we press key F, it's going to choose one of the balls. Okay, for now we are going to go with head. So we're going to make literal name. If we are going to say head, or you can go inside and make a array of them, and it's going to choose one of the value from the arrays. You can do those. For now we are going to go with head, and we are going to return this value as hit bone name. So promote this value to hit bone, and whenever we press F, it's going to return the hit bone name. Okay, and we are going to get the mesh, then get socket location, and in this socket we are going to use the same little name that we used here, and we are going to get its location. And the other thing that we want to do is get locate forward vector. No, from this, okay, we can do this from here as well. So let's multiply this by split struct. Oh no. To multiply this by a float single precision, and we are going to give it a 5000 of value, and basically this will be the impulse. So promote this to a variable. We're going to call this impulse. Okay, you don't really need to set them as variables, you can just work them. And after we did that, in the F option, we are going to get this and say impulse, add impulse. Add impulse mesh. Here we are going to get the impulse, add that, get the hit bone, get that, check the value name, and it should give us a bit of impulse, right? And because from the idea of everything, we know that it's going to work. Okay. Now it's doing all of those things, right? It's sending an impulse to the mesh and stuff. So if we try to play the game and have it sended that impulse, it's just the impulse is too much. Make it 100. Still too much. Maybe make it 10. As you can see, we are getting an impulse to the head. Now you can make a bullet that points to, let's say, a hand. Okay, so a bullet comes from someone's gun and it shoots our hand. So just like this, where we send an impulse to a head, we can send impulse to the location where the bullet hit, and we can get the bone where the bullet hit, and we can send the impulse at that location to that bone of a certain character by doing this. Okay, so if you go inside your third person character, wherever you make this function, in the make locally name, we are going to go with a random array item. Okay. So what this random going to do is going to choose a random item from this array which we are going to make. So we're going to make a head. We're going to, let's say, neck 02. Let's say hand. Let's make a lot of them. It should be hand. And L and the L right fine 04. So now what's going to happen every time we press F, this random node is going to get one of these value, and then it's going to send it and send an impulse to that node. So I can show you that now it's, you can make that like right now we are choosing at random, but the bullet that's going to hit our character, it will be different, because, well, it's going to be a designated location. Right now it's at random, but as you can see, the hit reaction is working, and it's also in a certain direction from 0 0. If you see, it's kind of like going to work. Yeah, so this corner is 0 0, so if you're here, it's going to send it over there. If you're here, it's going to send it over there. Right now it's depending on this point of the world, and that's it. You can have as many characters as you want. I don't know where our cube is going. Why? I forgot. In the begin play, we need to make initialize physics. Yeah. Now it should work. As you can see, everything is working.